Hey, welcome back to the North Florida Sports Network. Happy New Year. It's 2024. Oh, my goodness. Where did 2023 go?
Away forever. Let us never speak of it again.
In the rearview mirror. We're going to talk to you about some transfer portal targets as we move into the new year. As the Florida State Seminoles look to reload for next year, we'll talk about what positions they need, who they're going after. We got Jimmy Reno here. Going to get into the quarterbacks. It looks like Cam Ward's going to the NFL.
Right?
That just broke.
Just broke.
Yeah. So it's DJ Uiagalelei is the main target for Florida State or the NFL for him. So hopefully we'll have some on that. Willie Simmons is getting courted by Manny Diaz to come up to Duke, which is huge, especially after all the transfers he pulled. We're going to talk to Keith from Fangs Up later in the week, so we'll keep an eye on that. But today, I don't see anything else going on in college football important to talk about, right?
No, Tennessee and Iowa are playing the Cheez-It Bowl, right?
Oh, man, that's a big one.
That's the big game for today.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it's just a nice little Monday. I tell you one way I love to start the new year off is with the 49ers and the number 1 seed locked up.
That was nice.
Thank you very much, Cardinals.
It's a football
Kyler Murray.
Monday.
Got him.
And we got the NFL winding up. Both number 1 seeds were clinched yesterday.
Yeah, that was a tough one, man.
The conspiracy theory of that photo is starting to really...
Yeah.
Purple and red. You got the Niners in the NFC, the Ravens in the AFC. Both will have 2 bye weeks, pretty much. Wonder who will play in those games next week. Dolphins got destroyed, and they'll have a huge game against the Bills that will decide the AFC East and who will be hosting a playoff game. You got a lot of matchups. The NFC South's going to come down to the last week. No surprise there.
Yeah.
Right?
Jeez.
So as the Saints shut out the Bucks, but the Bucks still control their destiny. They just have to beat Carolina next week in that division.
I'm saying it, man. Watch out for the Browns.
Yeah.
If the Dolphins can avoid playing the Browns in the playoffs,
well, who really can beat the Ravens?
The Ravens will beat themselves.
We'll find out.
I said it yesterday, man. They're peaking too early.
Well, it's
too high.
He's going to face a lot of it this year. I mean, Lamar Jackson's probably going to win the MVP. Yeah. After yesterday's performance. He's the quarterback on that team. He's won it before. I see him. I saw that yesterday, maybe taking place. But the question on Lamar has always been, what's he going to do in the playoffs? So he'll have his best shot ever. I think there's no excuses this year. You have wide receivers. I love the draft pick from Boston College, Flowers. I mean, you could see that everyone was going after that guy. I mean, he stood out when we watched him. He stood out on the field. Sure.
Everybody going into last season, everybody was so high on Josh Downs, and I mean, Josh Downs is good, man. With good reason, but like they kind of just forgot about Zay Flowers.
Oh man, dude,
I thought Flowers was the best.
He was a steal
for multiple years in the conference.
Great pick for the Ravens, and then they went and got Odell too. So I mean,
that vet out there.
I mean, you have weapons now. They have the running game, and then just Lamar's threat to run himself at any point. Now, we'll see if he can do it in the playoffs. All right, well, let's take it back to college. We're right here in North Florida. We're gonna talk about FSU. We all know we talked about. We're not gonna talk about the snub. We're not gonna talk about.
That's over.
The Orange Bowl crap.
Looking forward, new season.
Right. What are the positions? They need a quarterback.
Yeah, you start with QB.
Yeah, let's start there.
Big development. Cam Ward announces that he's going to go NFL draft. Right. A couple days ago, there were a lot of reports that he was just down to Miami or the draft. I think Florida State has been targeting DJ primarily for at least the last week.
Right. I think you've liked that better the whole time.
Right. What what concerns me is that, he may be weighing the NFL too.
Right.
So we'll have to see there. I would say if it's not done by this time tomorrow, then you got to start really looking at your other guys, other options.
Yeah, because they have to have one
without question. And
right now,
if you don't get,
you have Brock Glenn and the true freshman Luke Kromenhoff, right? That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only scholarship
quarterbacks. Yeah,
what a new era.
I mean, you'd be rolling in there with 3, which is not ideal anyway.
Right. So who are some? We've talked a lot about Cam Ward and DJ. If those guys decided, Cam Ward has. If DJ decides to go to the NFL, who are some other guys to look out for?
I mean, the familiar names: KJ Jefferson, guy from
Arkansas.
Yeah. Until guys are enrolled, they're still kind of fair game. I mean, there's still Will Howard out there, although everybody expects he's going to Ohio State. There's not a whole lot of high end experience quarterbacks out there. Like DJ is probably, he's far and away the best you have in terms of what fits and yeah. So
what do you think he's weighing out?
Probably the NFL.
But I wonder what he's going through. Like the offer, is it enough compared to what you would get? How much could you improve your NFL stock by coming back?
Right, and I'm sure he wants to know that, I don't know, maybe he lacks a little bit of confidence in what Florida State's wide receiver room looks like right now. I don't know, man. My gut tells me that he's really thinking about the NFL. But I putting money on it, I'd say he's probably going to be the quarterback next year.
Really? So you still think that?
I still think he'll decide to stay in school for another season.
Well, this is really what the NIL and the transfer portal is something that would never happen in the past.
Yeah.
The NFL is a cutthroat business, and I would take as much experience as you can get pretty much doing semi-pro football, until you get to the big leagues. So in his situation, he can't, you have a chance to come back to the conference you started at, with experience. If you have a good season, you can improve your draft grade. You can get paid this year by coming to Florida State.
Right. It's definitely a very appealing opportunity.
You have a chance to learn another system, which is only going to make you more valuable at the next level if you show that you can pick it up, Yeah,
there's definitely a bunch of pros.
Take the question marks that you have now in the NFL and bring them with you and improve on those things. But we'll find out. Like you said, we'll find out probably tomorrow, you say?
I would say if he hasn't made a decision one way or the other by tomorrow, then other names will start leaking out there at QB that might be possibilities for Florida State.
And get Jefferson and
I would say that if it's not DJ, you could also really start looking at the possibility that they might be taking 2 QBs from the portal. One, a much more developmental type, because if you're only going to roll in with 3, then you really need that guy to be a high-end starter. Yeah,
Yeah, if it's 4, then it's more of a competition.
Right, and the outlook for the season changes dramatically. So, but that's just one position, man. The team needs quite a bit.
Right, exactly. And I would say that doesn't change. It all depends on what you get overall. So let's move on.
Right.
What other positions? What's the next position group you would look at that needs to be addressed in the transfer portal?
Up front on the defensive line needs to be priority number 1. Edge, especially. Nick Scoularton, the transfer from Baylor, is their top priority. I think he had 10 sacks, or Purdue, 10 sacks last season. He's a big guy, man. He's like 280.
Okay.
So he's speed, but he's also extremely powerful. I mean, everybody's after him. Right now, the top 4.
Just like Fisk last year.
Yeah. His top 4 right now. I mean, he's coming from Purdue. I think he's originally out of Texas, maybe somewhere in Oklahoma or something. But Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, those are the other 3 that are in it with Florida State.
Okay.
He'll be taking a visit to Tallahassee in this upcoming couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's priority number one.
Okay.
I don't know. They've offered a couple other guys at defensive tackle. One of them, Grady Kelly from Colorado State. He's originally from Navarre. He's a multi-year eligibility guy, so you bring him in and kind of grow him on your own. Other than that, I think they're waiting to see what happens with Jackson and Farmer before they officially, if they're going to leave, before they officially decide. Then you'll start seeing some other names going out there. But they got to get to
play
it
together.
Man. Yeah,
come back.
Yeah,
but we'll find out.
But the defensive front needs a lot of work. Linebacker needs a lot of work. They're going to need to take at least two bona fide, multi-year starters from other Power 5 programs. Right now, you got guys like Tackett Curtis, the kid out of USC. I mean, I know they like him. There's a couple kids from Arkansas that jumped in the portal that they're looking at. I would like to see the linebacker spot, the linebacker coaching, whatever's going to happen there. I want to see it ironed out quickly.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, but it sure sounds like that the young linebackers were probably as big a culprit as anybody with missed tackles.
Oh, yeah. There was all kinds of missed tackles.
Yeah. I mean, you expect that out of DBs, but the linebackers, man, even if they're freshmen, you guys got to be able to at least wrap up when you get your hands on them.
Right.
Not that they're going to be bad, just that they're not ready.
Yeah. So you need experience at linebacker.
Yeah.
What about the secondary?
Secondary,
probably your deepest.
Yeah, it's your deepest in terms of bodies.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of
transfer.
Ton of experience. I know that that Wesley Walker kid from Tennessee, he's somebody that Florida State's looking at. I think he was going to come in for a visit. A kid like that would be great. I think he's coming in for one last year, a graduate year. He's played at Tennessee, played at Georgia Tech. He's got a lot of experience. You add him back there with the young safeties. Kind of a nice mix, man. Some top end guys come available. Maybe you'll see Florida State take a swing at them in the secondary.
Okay,
but I think they like the young guys that they got.
All right,
they're going to take their lumps, but I think they like the guys that they're bringing back.
A lot of good DBs.
Yeah, and you're bringing in a haul through high school
Yeah.
ranks too.
So let's move to the other side of the ball and a position that wide receiver needs to get addressed.
Yeah.
They need a playmaker there, an experienced one.
Everybody was holding out hope for Jeremiah Smith would have solved something there. I mean, at least you would have a guy that had the skills to open it up.
Right.
Perfect world. Hakeem Williams, Destin Hill, the guys like that continue to develop. You know, Kentron, he looked really good. Apparently, I mean, it sounded really good, but I think he got hurt.
Right.
You got some young guys there.
There wasn't any separation.
Yeah, I think that you just need you need a premier receiver. I don't know if one's going to jump in the portal though. That's the thing. I don't know if somebody.
There's no Keon Coleman's out there.
Right, and that's that's the risk you take with portal.
Right.
So I think.
Who are they? Are there people they're targeting at that position
right now? The Barber kid from Troy. He's more of a slot receiver.
Okay.
They haven't really. No names have popped up in terms of guys that you think those big body down the field threats.
Kai Douglas will be back.
Douglas is going to be back. His younger brother, Jalen Lucas, is another kind of return specialist, slot guy from Indiana. He's another one to watch. He's nothing but speed.
Well, really, you need to have these young guys step up in the offseason.
Yeah. And that, like I said, perfect world. And I mean, you lose a guy like Jaheim Bell, but you're also bringing in Landon Thomas.
Right. And you still have Warlock.
Yeah, you still have Morlock coming in. I don't know that tight end is going to be a huge necessity in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Running back, the Penny Boone kid from Toledo, coming in for one last year.
Right.
Got 1 year left, graduate transfer. I would love to get that kid, 6'1", 230, 15 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, you can't have enough of running backs.
Right. And, Toa Philly coming back healthy. You'll be bringing in Cam Davis. Yep. You got the young Danzy kid that's got some long speed on there. You still got Keziah Holmes and Sam Singleton. Hopefully, up front.
Up front, O-line.
I know they want to bring in a couple guards. I mean, you're losing your guards. I don't know that there's any high-end talent right now at that spot. We'll see as the weeks progress. I don't know. Some of the games that end today, you might see some other transfers.
There's games today?
Yeah, Iowa, Tennessee.
Iowa
offensive lineman, man. Wisconsin's playing too, so keep an eye out for them. But I think the biggest needs transfer portal-wise on the offensive side, obviously quarterback, and then possibly wide receiver. But defense, you've got to rebuild the defense.
Yeah.
Just to bridge some of that youth, because what it sounds like is that it wasn't ready.
Well, nobody was.
You don't expect them to be. They're playing
that game, man.
Yeah. I mean, the only positive from it is they've now experienced what, championship teams look like.
That's going to be the number one team next year.
Georgia?
Right there.
Georgia? Yeah. Without question.
And then they already have Colby from Miami.
Yeah, they'll get him from Miami.
And they got the running back,
Trevor Etienne.
From Florida.
Yeah, it's not like
they just added the best 2 skill players from those teams.
And it's not like they
didn't even need them.
What are they? They just signed like another historic number 1 recruiting class.
So Georgia's only getting
They're
better.
not going anywhere.
Right.
And I think that's
what you need is everyone playing, and Florida State has a long way to go.
Listen, the story for next year is, go in with a quarterback that can get you to Charlotte and possibly sneak out a win. I don't even think you'll be the favorite going into Charlotte.
No. Well, you just have to address
that's all
these
you got to do.
positions.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Find a way to build a roster that can maybe steal the ACC, and let's jump in the playoff and see what happens.
All right. Well,
we had to go.
Gotta get on out of here. It's the first of the year. Started off a new year, man. Any New Year's resolutions, Jimmy?
Oh, man, watch less ESPN. Watch no ESPN. How about that?
Yeah. Beware the sport is taking us. But, you say you love it, though.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch it, yeah.
I mean, it's NFL playoffs are always enjoyable.
That's going to be crazy. A lot of teams in the mix there.
I'm telling you, man, watch out for the Browns. That defense.
What a story that would be.
Joe Flacco taking naps in between touchdown drives on the sideline. Like that. That's Cleveland, though. That's Cleveland.
Right. Right now, they're in the 5 seed. Green Bay in the 7 seed right now. Ooh. If the playoffs ended today, Baltimore would be the 1 seed. In the AFC, Miami would be the 2 seed. And they would be hosting the Colts. The Bills would be the 6 seed, and they would be traveling to Kansas City. And then the Browns would be the 5 seed, traveling to Jacksonville. But a lot of things are still on the table there. In the NFC, if it ended today, you would have the San Francisco 49ers as the 1 seed. You would have the Dallas Cowboys as the 2 seed. The Detroit Lions as the 3. Tampa Bay as the 4. Philly, the 5 seed. And the Rams and the Packers round out that playoff. Still in the mix are teams. Seattle's still in the mix. The Saints are still in the mix. The Vikings still have a shot. I don't know how, but I guess there's some sort of tiebreaker there. In the AFC, you have Indianapolis, Houston, Pittsburgh, all 9-7. So it's going to come down to some tiebreakers there. One of those 3 teams will get the 7 seed. Miami, Buffalo will decide who gets the home field game in the 2 seed. So we'll keep an eye on all that. We got some FAMU talk later in the week. We'll get caught up. Hopefully we'll have some news on Willie Simmons. And we'll talk to you next time, right here on the North Florida Sports Network.
We had to go. Our ride was here. We got a shuttle. We had to go. Our ride was here. We got a shuttle to our